Sasha Alexander reunites with DiNozzo and Ziva actors ahead of their NCIS spin-off in new photos. SUMNARY. The NCIS universe expands with new spin-offs and reunions, including Tony and Ziva project streaming on Paramount+. Head of their spin-off, Michael Weatherly and Code de Pablo talked to NCIS original cast member, Sasha Alexander for the new Rewatch podcast. Despite Kate Todd's death on NCIS, Alexander could return as a hallucination or vision in future episodes. NCIS established a precedent for bringing back characters post-death, suggesting Kate Todd could make a comeback. Out of their NCIS spin-off, Michael Weatherly and Code de Pablo reunite with original franchise actor Sasha Alexander. After more than 2 decades on the air, NCIS is showing no signs of slowing down. Aside from the controversial cancellation of NCIS Hawaii, the universe as a whole is still going strong, with a couple of spin-offs on the way. That includes a reunion project with Michael Weatherly and Code de Pablo as they reprise their roles as Tony DiNozzo and Ziva David in NCIS Tony and Ziva Offshoot, which will stream on Paramount+ instead of airing on CBS. Before their small-screen return, however, Weatherly and de Pablo host an NCIS Rewatch podcast, which recently guest-starred Alexander. Check out their adorable reunion images from Alexander's Instagram below. The photos were taken during Alexander's recent appearance on the newly launched NCIS Rewatch podcast. Titled Off Duty, an NCIS Rewatch on Spotify, the new endeavor sees Weatherly and de Pablo talk to various people who were once or are still involved in the franchise. Can Alexander's Kate Todd still appear in the NCIS universe? Todd was killed by Ziva David's half-brother. It has been almost 2 decades since Kate Todd was unexpectedly killed in the NCIS Season 2 final. The events of the CBS police procedural were kicked off by her arrival at the agency. She was expected to stay with the major case response team for a while, so it was truly shocking when she was brutally murdered. Her death was recently re-examined during NCIS 1000th episode. Despite hopes, however, that Alexander would return to film new scenes despite her character's death, the show only used archival footage. That said, it doesn't mean that a comeback is off the table. NCIS has already set a precedent in terms of bringing her back after Kate's death. NCIS has already set a precedent in terms of bringing her back after Kate's death. On the heels of Ari's brutal murder of her 19 years ago, Alexander returned for the first 2 episodes of Season 3 as the team grappled with the unexpected loss of her. Instead of flashbacks, her scenes were projections of her. This was major proof of her drama-less exit from the police procedural, which hasn't always been the case in terms of these long-running shows. Beyond that, Alexander can reprise Kate as a hallucination in case NCIS Season 22 attempts to bring her back. Besides reprising Kate in the show, NCIS can also tap Alexander to be involved in other ways. For starters, she can helm one of the upcoming episodes of NCIS Tony and Ziva. Alexander previously directed an episode of Weatherly's Bowl, and she clearly has a great relationship with de Pablo, so it shouldn't be an issue to pull this off. NCIS Hawaii cancellation mocked by Star after CBS shows viewership data. Revealed. SUMNARY. NCIS Hawaii star Jason Antoon mocks CBS after its sudden cancellation despite climbing ratings. Viewers are left frustrated as NCIS Hawaii ends on a cliffhanger, with hopes that CBS may reverse the decision to cancel the show. The possibility of NCIS Hawaii Season 4 remains uncertain as CBS considers broadcast schedule changes for the franchise's future. Weeks after NCIS Hawaii cancellation, one of its stars mocks it with CBS viewership data. Premiering in 2021 as part of NCIS expansion with spin-offs, the Hawaii outpost of the famed agency introduced a whole new team led by Ganisalachi's Jane Tennant. Focusing on crimes that involve military and national security, NCIS Hawaii was just starting to establish a solid fan base when the network surprisingly pulled the plug on it. While it isn't as popular as its parent series, the offshoot was doing well enough to continue. Unfortunately, CBS thought otherwise. Can CBS still uncancel NCIS, Hawaii? CBS has walked back a show cancellation before canceling Hawaii was already controversial long before the viewership data for CBS' latest year was released. It marks the third spin-off from the famed police procedural franchise to end, following NCIS, Los Angeles and NCIS, New Orleans. That being said, out of all the canceled offshoots in the universe, the Lachie-led series had the shortest time on the air. What makes its abrupt end more frustrating is that NCIS, Hawaii ended on a cliffhanger, with Tennant's next case being set up. Now it will remain unresolved, unless CBS reverses its initial verdict on the project. The best example is CBS changing its mind on SWAT's cancellation after Shemar Moore's public comments about wanting the series to continue. In any case, there is precedent when it comes to networks walking back on their decisions on shows. The best example is CBS changing its mind on SWAT's cancellation after Shemar Moore's public comments about wanting the series to continue. And Toon's criticisms over NCIS, Hawaii's unexpected end, may not accomplish what Moore did essentially on his own. However, it could spark discussions among his co-stars and the viewership that the series was building. This could prompt CBS to at least consider greenlighting NCIS, Hawaii Season 4, just so the show can end with a proper send-off instead of a cliffhanger. If NCIS, Hawaii's cancellation is overturned, however, the public may have to wait for a while to learn about its broadcasting schedule. While NCIS Season 22 will maintain its original time slot, the spin-off's old block will be taken over by Mark Harmon's NCIS Origins, which will tackle Leroy Jethro Gibbs' origin story in the agency. This means that CBS will have to find a new schedule for Tennant's team's return. Whatever the case may be, giving them another chance to properly say goodbye is infinitely better despite a potential wait time than leaving the show with a massive storytelling question. Usual cancellations stem from the poor performance of a show. That said, as Antoon cited, NCIS, Hawaii was doing good numbers, making CBS' decision to pull the plug on it baffling. Subsequently, the network executives addressed the issue by saying that the cost and ratings ratio, as well as cohesion in its overall programming, was what led to the difficult decision of ending NCIS, Hawaii unceremoniously. It's worth noting, however, that aside from NCIS Origins, another offshoot from the franchise is coming in NCIS Tony and Ziva, though it will stream on Paramount Plus instead of being on CBS. How NCIS can fix Hawaii's cliffhanger without uncanceling the spin-off? Even without bringing back NCIS Hawaii, CBS can solve its final mystery. Usual cancellations stem from the poor performance of a show. That said, as Antoon cited, NCIS Hawaii was doing good numbers, making CBS' decision to pull the plug on it baffling. Subsequently, the network executives addressed the issue by saying that the cost and ratings ratio, as well as cohesion in its overall programming, was what led to the difficult decision of ending NCIS Hawaii unceremoniously. It's worth noting, however, that aside from NCIS Origins, another offshoot from the franchise is coming in NCIS Tony and Ziva, though it will stream on Paramount Plus instead of being on CBS. How NCIS can fix Hawaii's cliffhanger without uncanceling the spin-off? Even without bringing back NCIS Hawaii, CBS can solve its final mystery. There will be a caveat to this setup, however, since it would mean that Tennant would have to be demoted to be an NCIS senior field agent. For context, Tennant was the special agent in charge on NCIS Hawaii, and she was highly effective in her job. Admittedly, it isn't an ideal situation, but this is the simplest way to ensure that Maggie Shaw's return mystery will be resolved. Otherwise, it would be extremely difficult for the spin-off to revisit the case and give the story a proper ending.